Hello, it is Amy from AMPO here. I hope that you're having a good week. Here at AMPO, we are talking about the intersection point of strategic planning and fundraising and why these two things are so important to your organization. Your fundraising is never going to be as strong as it is when you have a really good, robust strategic plan. And your strategic plan is never going to be as good as when you have a really good understanding and depth of knowledge of your fundraising program. So that's where another place that you should go when you're really digging deep on strategic planning, you really want to look at funding. You really want to dig deep on funding. And one of the most critical things that you want to analyze when you look at the funding for your organization is how dependent you are on any one funding source. So you're going to want to look at contracts and grants. How dependent are you on maybe on a federal contract? How dependent are you on a single grant funder? Perhaps it's a United Way organization. How dependent are you on those organizations and those funding sources remaining consistent and reliable? You're also going to want to look at fees for service. Is there any fee for service structure that you can put in place for your program? Now, oftentimes people look to the most obvious place to generate a fee for service, which is on the program participants. But think creatively about this. Maybe there's a partnership that you can have with a corporate partner, or with an educational institution in your community. What are some of those unique partnerships that you can form that might help you to create a fee for service model for your program and for your entity? And then finally, you have fundraising. What are you doing to make sure that groups and individuals in your community are aware of the fact that there's a community problem, that you have a solution to this problem, and that their dollars are needed? You need to make sure that you are continually introducing people and groups of people through your cycle of cultivation to the work of your mission. Putting these things in balance is really going to help you to understand and to be able to move your mission forward. And having a well balanced mix of funds for your organization is going to help you to be more consistent with what you're able to pull off through fluctuations of funding sources and funding cycles that have always taken place and are always going to take place. So that's my advice for this week. When you're thinking about strategic planning, you want to dig deep on your funding sources, and you want to look in three areas. You want to look at your contracts and grants. You want to look at your program fee for service, and you want to look at your fundraising. And when you're looking at fundraising, you want to look through the lens of annual giving. That's the lens that we're using. So you want to be looking at those funds that come in year over year that are renewable, repeatable gifts. And you want to be looking at, maybe you've got some small donors in there, some mid-level, some major donors in there. So make sure you're doing that evaluation that way. We're looking at this all through the lens of annual giving. So we're not looking at this through the lens of a capital campaign. Capital campaigns have a distinct beginning and end. That might be a part of your strategic plan. But for this evaluation, you really want to be looking at, where are you getting those gifts? Where are you getting those funds that come in every year? Renewable, repeatable gifts and funds that are coming in, that are making sure that the engine of your organization continues to move forward. So there you have it. Some tips for you this week. Have a great week, everyone.